Inside the bar, Brother Yong has Jiaxin sitting flirtatiously on his lap. She suggests he can just slide his hand underneath her skirt, as she wouldn't mind. Another man at their table urges Brother Yong to stop touching the woman and focus on their game. Outside the ice cream shop, two other men are talking about a girl named Huang Jiaxin. One of them mentions that she acts like a goddess at the art academy, but is now letting men from the Evolution Academy get close to her. The other man comments that students from the Evolution Academy have bright futures, making them attractive to women. This conversation makes Lin Zichen think about the university's structure. Shanghai University is divided into two distinct areas, an outer campus for arts and culture students, and a heavily guarded inner campus for those studying evolution, mechanical modification, and martial arts. The inner campus is a high-security zone, closed to the public and even students from the outer campus, due to the sensitive nature of gene fusion and mechanical modification research. It is constantly patrolled by armed guards and surveillance drones. Back at the table, Lin Zichen's mother, Zhang Wangxin, advises him and Shen Qinghan that even though university life offers more freedom, they must remain focused on their studies and not get distracted. Her husband, Lin Yansheng, reassures her that their children are responsible. He tells Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan it is time for them to head to the inner campus. Since the parents cannot enter the restricted area, Lin Yansheng reminds his son to take good care of Shen Qinghan, and Lin Zichen promises he will. At the heavily guarded entrance to the inner campus, a guard asks them to present their admission notices. Lin Zichen hands his over, but as Shen Qinghan searches for hers, the guard stops her. He recognizes Lin Zichen as the top student from the provincial exams who recently made news for joining Tianrenge and allows them to pass without further checks. Inside, the campus is bustling with gene fusers and cyborgs, a common sight in this specialized area. After they both complete their registration paperwork, it is time to go to their separate dormitories. Shen Qinghan waves goodbye to Lin Zichen, promising to see him that evening before heading to her dorm in the Evolution Academy. Upon arriving at the Budo Academy, Lin Zichen is immediately swarmed by a group of enthusiastic female upperclassmen. They shower him with compliments about his good looks, offer to carry his bags, and eagerly ask for his contact information. Just then, a confident blonde senior steps forward, telling the others to back off and volunteering to personally escort Lin Zichen to his dormitory. He gratefully accepts her offer. As they walk, the senior asks if he'd like to see the school's combat power rankings. She leads him to a display with two lists, the peak ranking for the top 500 students school-wide and the new student ranking for the top 100 freshmen. She explains that the top 3 students on the peak ranking are all powerful fourth years from the Evolution and Mechanical Academies. In contrast, only 3 students from the Budo Academy are on the list, and their ranks are much lower. The senior then tells him about a former star student from their academy who, like him, was a top scorer on the entrance exams and even made it to 6th place on the peak ranking. However, because she was a pure-blooded human, her progress eventually stalled, and she was surpassed by gene fusers and cyborgs. The senior reveals this person's name is Song Yuyan, and she is now an instructor at the academy and a key researcher for Tianrenge, working as an assistant to Dean Liu Chuanwu. Soon, they arrive at his room. The senior leads him inside, revealing a spacious private apartment instead of a standard dorm room. She remarks with envy that being the top scorer comes with amazing benefits. Fanning herself, she then comments on how hot it was walking outside and suggestively asks if she can use his shower. Lin Zichen, however, seems to miss the hint. He thanks her for her help and offers to buy her a milk tea from a shop across the way. The senior is left completely confused by his response, but agrees, wondering to herself why he didn't take the bait. After the senior student leaves, Lin Zichen stands alone in his new room, thinking to himself that by treating her to a drink, he has repaid the favor of her showing him the way. He then receives a text message from Shen Qinghan, who asks to see pictures of his dormitory. She has already sent him photos of her own accommodations, which are incredibly luxurious and even include a private gym. Comparing her lavish apartment to his simple single room, Lin Zichen feels a pang of envy, realizing how much wealthier the Evolution Academy is. He reluctantly takes a few pictures of his own modest room to send her. Upon seeing them, Shen Qinghan is surprised by how small his dorm is, and immediately suggests he move in with her, telling him her bed is even bigger than the one she has at home. Without a moment's hesitation, Lin Zichen grabs his suitcase and phone, declaring that he is on his way over immediately. As he leaves the Budo Academy dorms, he grumbles to himself about the stark difference in funding between the academies, feeling that his room, the best his school had to offer, is nothing compared to the student housing at the Evolution Academy. As he walks, he lets out a sigh, momentarily wondering if Dean Liu Chuanwu will truly be able to deliver on his promise of triple the benefits. When the elevator doors open at her floor, Shen Qinghan is there to greet him with a bright smile. She happily welcomes him into her spacious, air-conditioned apartment. Looking around the clean, luxurious space, Lin Zichen comments that her master, Mo Dongji, must care for her a great deal to provide such a place. Shen Qinghan agrees, saying her master treats her very well. Shen Qinghan stretches her arms out wide, joyfully declaring that this is now their little home, a place where they can be free without their parents around. A blushing Lin Zichen quickly tells her not to get too carried away with the idea. Announcing that she is sweaty from the move, she says she will shower first and begins to undress on the spot, leaving her clothes in a pile on the floor. Lin Zichen can only watch, asking her not to leave a mess. As she showers, a flustered Lin Zichen picks up her clothes. He decides to use the free time to check out the new university campus app he downloaded. He discovers an in-app store where students can use school credits to purchase resources for gene fusion and mechanical modification. He learns that there are 3 ways to earn these credits: placing on the school's power rankings, completing official school tasks, or achieving outstanding results in competitions. He realizes that for him, this will be even easier than earning money. His exploration is interrupted when Shen Qinghan calls out from the bathroom, asking him to bring her clothes in. He walks into the bathroom to give them to her, only to find her relaxing in the large bathtub. With a blush, she comments on how comfortable the water is, and invitingly asks if he wants to join her. A blushing Lin Zichen hesitates, then decides it would be a waste of so much hot water for one person. He agrees to join her and takes off his clothes. In the tub, he offers to wash her back, and she happily accepts, promising him it will be her turn to wash his back afterward. Later, after their bath and a meal, Lin Zichen meditates on the bed while Shen Qinghan lies beside him. He begins the second stage of tempering his skin using the blood tempering art. The process is grueling. He finds it much harder than the first time, taking 2 full hours just to temper his right hand. Curious, he asks Shen Qinghan for a sewing needle to test his skin's new strength. To her amazement, he presses the sharp needle against the back of his hand, but it cannot pierce the skin. A system notification confirms his skin's toughness is increasing. When he applies more pressure, the needle shatters against his hand. Shen Xinghan is in awe, exclaiming the blood-tempering art is so incredible, it makes her want to pursue the pure blood path too. Lin Zichen then announces the next test: heat resistance. He calmly holds his hand over a lit stovetop flame. A system notification confirms his heat resistance is increasing. He reflects that it took over a minute before he felt a slight burning sensation, and concludes that with the blood-tempering art and his system's attributes, he is on his way to achieving a saintly body. Just as Lin Zichen is relaxing, his phone buzzes with a new message from Liu Chuanwu, the dean of the Budo Academy. The dean asks if he is settled in and invites him to visit the Tianren-Gei headquarters to familiarize himself with the environment and meet the other members. Lin Zichen agrees, and the dean instructs him to wait downstairs for someone to pick him up. Since he is not at his own dorm, Lin Zichen replies with Shen Qing'an's address. After receiving confirmation, he sighs and decides to head downstairs. He informs Shen Qinghan he has to go out for a while, explaining the dean invited him to the organization's headquarters. She encourages him to go ahead. Outside, he finds a shady spot under some trees. While leaning against a tree, he is noticed by a young man with spiky orange-brown hair. The young man approaches and recognizes him as Lin Zichen, the top provincial exam scorer who joined Tianren-Gei. Lin Zichen greets him, thinking to himself that he has become well known. The young man expresses his admiration for Lin Zichen's decision to forego gene fusion for the pure blood path. He shares that he is also a freshman and grew up near Kyoto, where a similar research institute for pure-blooded humans once existed but was shut down after 20 years of little progress. He passionately expresses his hope that the research at Shanghai University will succeed. Lin Zichen finds the guy a bit too talkative. The young man gives him a final thumbs up and an encouraging good luck before walking away. Shortly after, Lin Zichen hears the roar of an engine. He turns to see a woman in a helmet pulling up on a sleek red motorcycle. She asks if he is Lin Zichen, and after he confirms, she dismounts. Removing her helmet, she introduces herself as Song Yuyan, an instructor from the Budo Academy and a researcher for Tianren-Gei, explaining she has come to take him to their headquarters. As they shake hands, Lin Zichen internally recalls her story as the former top student who chose the pure-blood path. He gets on the back of her motorcycle, and she playfully advises him to hold on tighter. As they speed off, she asks if he is happy that a beautiful senior came to pick him up, to which he replies that it is an honor. Curious, she then asks why a student from the Budo Academy was waiting outside the luxurious dorms of the Evolution Academy. Lin Zichen casually explains that his girlfriend lives there and he has moved in with her. Hearing this, Song Yuyan laments her own love life, complaining that she has never even lived with a boy. Soon, they arrive at a large, modern building. Song Yuyan leads Lin Zichen to a building with a sign that reads Pure Human Research Institute. She beckons him inside, and he asks if it's an abbreviation for the Pure-Blooded Human Research Institute. She shows him a common area for researchers to relax and offers him free drinks from a stocked refrigerator. As they walk through an empty hallway, Lin Zichen asks why no one else is around. Song Yuyan explains with a sigh that Tianren-ge is not well regarded by the university, so their funding is limited, and they can't afford a large staff. She reveals the entire organization consists of only Dean Liu Chuanwu, herself, Lin Zichen, and 3 fourth-year martial arts students. This shocks Lin Zichen, who now understands the large group of men in karate uniforms with the dean when they first met were just hired actors. Feeling a bit let down, he thinks that as long as he gets the promised triple benefits, nothing else matters. Song Yuyan then calls out to the dean, announcing she has brought Lin Zichen. A disheveled and exhausted-looking Liu Chuanwu appears and invites them into his cluttered office. Lin Zichen comments on the dean's haggard state. The dean explains he has been there for almost half a month, struggling to make a breakthrough in his research on the aperture opening chapter of the blood tempering art, with no progress. Despite his research struggles, Dean Liu Chuanwu gives Lin Zichen an encouraging thumbs up, confident that Lin Zichen's involvement will lead to great progress for the pure blood path. He then playfully boasts that his senior, Song Yuyan, was once the top scorer in the Kyoto entrance exams, and that his own physical test scores from his youth were even higher. Song Yuyan casually chides him to stop bragging. The dean's tone turns serious as he explains that with Song Yuyan's help, he finally broke through a decades-long plateau and completed his third body tempering. This breakthrough gave him the power, as an ordinary Tier 9 human, to defeat a high-level gene fuser. Putting his hands on both their shoulders, he assures Lin Zichen that with time, he has the potential to surpass even Song Yuyan. Changing the subject, Liu Chuanwu asks about Lin Zichen's progress with the blood tempering art. He questions if Lin Zichen has managed to learn blood control and reach the required ordinary Tier 4 to begin skin tempering. Lin Zichen calmly confirms he has. Pleased, the dean assigns Song Yuyan as his mentor, explaining that with her guidance, he should be able to complete his first skin tempering by the end of the semester. He notes that she herself accomplished this in just 3 months. Song Yuyan confidently accepts. However, Lin Zichen interrupts, plainly stating a mentor won't be necessary. He reveals that he already completed the first round of skin tempering during his summer vacation. This shocking announcement leaves both Liu Chuanwu and Song Yuyan completely stunned and speechless, wondering if they heard him correctly. Song Yuyan finds it impossible that Lin Zichen could have mastered the complex art of skin tempering on his own over the summer. Lin Zichen casually explains that the book had detailed instructions, and he just studied it for a few days, though he internally admits it only took him half an hour. Still skeptical, Dean Liu Chuanwu asks to examine his hand to confirm. Before presenting his arm, Lin Zichen discreetly activates his natural camouflage ability, deciding to mask his true power. He sets his visible biological level to ordinary Tier 5, just high enough to be consistent with having completed 1 round of skin tempering. He then allows the dean to inspect his arm. The moment Liu Chuanwu touches him, both he and Song Yuyan are left speechless. The dean confirms in amazement that Lin Zichen has indeed completed a full skin tempering. Still shocked, Liu Chuanwu asks what his current biological level is. Feigning nervousness, Lin Zichen tells him it is ordinary Tier 5. This revelation sends the dean into pure ecstasy. He throws his hands in the air and shouts that Lin Zichen is a peerless genius and the future of the pure blood path is secure. Overjoyed, he pulls a surprised Lin Zichen into a tight hug, declaring that with such a talent, they will surely break through the limits of ordinary beings. Watching them, Song Yuyan reflects that there is always someone more talented. She smiles, thinking it is good to have a more capable person leading their cause. Filled with renewed hope, she excitedly suggests to the dean that they should immediately publicize Lin Zichen's potential to attract more talented individuals and secure more funding. However, Liu Chuanwu immediately rejects the idea. He sternly explains that Lin Zichen's abilities must be kept a secret for now, as suddenly revealing his progress on the pure blood path could expose him to danger. The dean elaborates that their strategy should be quality, not quantity. Now that they have a prodigy like Lin Zichen, they must concentrate all their resources on helping him break through the ordinary biological barrier. When Song Yuyan raises concerns about finances, the dean reassures her. He promises to use all his connections to gather the necessary evolution resources. His plan is to wait until Lin Zichen's power is undeniable, find him a powerful backer, and only then begin to promote the ideals of Tianren-ge. Song Yuyan praises the dean's thoughtful planning, and he proudly accepts the compliment. Lin Zichen listens quietly, thinking how shocked they would be if they knew his true power, that he is already at ordinary Tier 9, has completed tempering his flesh and bones, and is in the middle of his second tempering cycle. The dean then informs Lin Zichen that he no longer needs to attend basic classes at the Budo Academy. Instead, he will work directly at the Research Institute with Song Yuyan as his assistant. An annoyed Song Yuyan clenches her fist, protesting that making her an assistant to a junior is an insult. The dean dismisses her concerns, telling her pride is worthless in their research. Changing the subject, he announces that the following afternoon, the university will hold a freshman trial to determine the new king, the strongest first year. He confidently tells Lin Zichen that with his abilities, the title is practically his. He encourages him to participate to bring honor to the Budo Academy, offering a reward of 10 chi and blood pills. When this fails to elicit a reaction, he adds that the winner will also receive 10 school credits. The mention of credits immediately grabs Lin Zichen's full attention. Soon, the day of the freshman assembly arrives, and a large crowd of students gathers in the university auditorium. As Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan sit together, they become the subject of gossip among other students, who recognize Lin Zichen as the top scorer who joined Tianren-ge and wonder about his relationship with their goddess Shen Qinghan. Their conversation is interrupted by a familiar face. The talkative, spiky-haired freshman from before approaches and asks if Lin Zichen remembers him. Lin Zichen confirms he does. Leaning in, the freshman points at both of them and bluntly asks what their relationship is. Holding a blushing Shen Qinghan's hand, Lin Zichen plainly tells him they are engaged childhood sweethearts who plan to marry after graduation. This news seems to disappoint the freshman, who can only manage a forced smile. As the assembly continues, the auditorium fills with other first-year students. In the crowd, a girl with dark hair, purple tips, and cat-like ears sits quietly. She turns and gives Lin Zichen an intense, somber stare. He notices her gaze, feeling a slight sense of unease. Meanwhile, the talkative freshman has returned to his seat and is chatting animatedly with his neighbors. Soon, a man at a podium announces the start of the ceremony and calls for the freshman representative to come to the stage. To everyone's surprise, it is the talkative, spiky-haired freshman who stands up. As he confidently walks toward the stage, other students murmur in disbelief. They question why he, with his dyed hair and chatty personality, was chosen as the representative, a role usually reserved for the strongest student, whom they had assumed would be a gene fuser. The freshman is pleased by their reaction. He thinks this is the perfect opportunity to make a big impression. Taking the microphone, he begins his speech by asking the crowd if they have heard of Li Yijin. Lin Zichen internally scoffs, thinking that everyone knows about the famous genius from Kyoto. Continuing his speech, the freshman reveals that the famous prodigy Li Yijin has an equally talented younger brother. He explains this brother was the top scorer in the Kyoto entrance exams, boasting a 16% gene fusion compatibility and the highest national physical test scores, tying with the top scorer from Nanjing province. With a confident smile, he then dramatically reveals that he is that very brother, Li Moyu. He goes on to declare that he and his older brother made a pact to dominate the records at Shanghai and Kyoto universities. To demonstrate his power, Li Moyu unleashes the full force of his biological pressure, announcing that this is the power of an ordinary Tier 5 being. The entire auditorium is overwhelmed by the immense aura, and the other students gasp in shock, realizing the vast gap between their own abilities and those of a true genius. Pleased with their reaction, Li Moyu smugly tells everyone to remember his name. Back in the audience, Shen Qinghan whispers to Lin Zichen, mocking Li Moyu's arrogance and commenting that he has no idea Lin Zichen could defeat him with a single finger. Lin Zichen simply tells her to keep a low profile, and she playfully agrees. After Li Moyu's speech, the announcer invites the next speaker to the stage. Zhou Hong, the president of the student council. A young man with dark blue hair walks to the podium, where the announcer hands him a script. Addressing the crowd, Zhou Hong introduces himself and states he has 3 important things to share. First, he explains that student discipline is managed by the student council, which holds significant authority. Second, he announces the student council will recruit 10 new members from the freshman class next semester, with the sole requirement being strength. He advises them to use the next few months to prove their abilities. Finally, he issues a stark warning. Shanghai University's inner campus is a ruthless environment where strength is everything. Bullying of lower-classmen by upperclassmen is common. He tells everyone to be mentally prepared. After delivering his main points, Zhou Hong's expression darkens. He declares that before he leaves the stage, he wants to give everyone a taste of the power of an advanced being. He then unleashes an overwhelming wave of biological pressure that crushes the entire auditorium. The freshmen are immediately overwhelmed, gasping for air and crying out in pain under the immense force. Lin Zichen sits beside Shen Qinghan as the oppressive pressure from the student council president, Zhou Hong, lifts. Lin Zichen notes that while the pressure from an advanced being is powerful, from this distance, it's no threat to him, as he has reached ordinary Tier 9. Meanwhile, the other freshmen recover, expressing relief that the display only lasted for 5 seconds and remarking on how terrifying the strength of an advanced being is. Once Zhou Hong leaves the stage, Mo Dongji addresses the students. She announces a freshman trial will begin after the assembly. The rules are simple. In the center of the gym is a large stage, and the first student to remain on it alone for over 1 minute will be crowned this year's new king. The reward is 100 school credits, 10 times more than the previous year. In the stands, a couple of upperclassmen arrogantly comment that the top 10 spots are always taken by their genius class, and this year will be no different. This sparks a murmur among the ordinary class students. A special rule is then revealed. If a single student from outside the genius class places in the top 10, all non-genius freshmen will receive 1 school credit. The students get excited as they calculate that 1 credit is worth 10,000 yuan, realizing if they work together, they all stand to gain. Seizing the moment, He Yu gets on stage and takes the microphone. He introduces himself and reminds everyone that his classmate, Lin Zichen, is the province's top scorer and the strongest among the ordinary students. He proposes that all ordinary students join forces to attack the genius class, clearing a path to help Lin Zichen secure a top 10 spot. All eyes turn to Lin Zichen, who remains seated and composed. Inspired, the ordinary students rise with determination, shouting their support and vowing to clear a path for him. Meanwhile, a group of faculty, including Liu Chuanwu, Mo Dongji, and Ma Zhenhe, watch from a distance. Liu Chuanwu remarks to Zhou Hong that he was being too petty with his earlier display. Ma Zhenhe interjects, asking Liu Chuanwu if it was necessary to take his anger out on Li Moyu's younger brother just because Wu Tiancheng defeated him. He adds sarcastically that when it comes to being petty, no one at the university can compare to Liu Chuanwu. Liu Chuanwu calmly replies that his pettiness is directed only at the person involved, never their family. Liu Chuanwu taunts Dean Ma Zhenhe, asking if he heard his daughter performed exceptionally well on her entrance exams. Ma Zhenhe replies, she was the 3rd highest scorer in Kyoto. Standing beside them, Zhou Hong suggests Ma Zhenhe's daughter should join the student council, promising to personally cultivate her as a future leader. Ma Zhenhe agrees, asking Zhou Hong to look after his daughter, to which Zhou Hong replies he takes care of any student with genius potential. Down in the arena, students speculate on who will become the new king, with most considering the 2 top freshmen, Li Moyu and Ma Weiwei, as the main contenders. One student argues Li Moyu is the clear favorite, as his biological level is already ordinary Tier 5. However, another points out that while Ma Weiwei's scores were slightly lower, she successfully fused with Shadowcat genes during the summer, so her actual combat strength might not be less than Li Moyu's. A third student dismisses this, believing her fusion was only partial and her power increase is limited. Their debate is cut short when Liu Chuanwu's voice booms, declaring that neither Li Moyu nor Ma Weiwei will become the new king. As the others look on in shock, Liu Chuanwu continues with a confident grin, proclaiming that the true new king will be a member of his Tianren Ge, Lin Zichen. Ma Zhenhe immediately fires back in anger, questioning how that could be possible. He points out that Lin Zichen's physical test data didn't even place him in the top 10. He scoffs at the idea, accusing Liu Chuanwu of making baseless boasts. Liu Chuanwu calmly asks if Ma Zhenhe does not believe him and challenges him to a bet. Furious, Ma Zhenhe immediately accepts, shouting that he's not afraid. They agree to wager 100 school credits, with Ma Zhenhe warning Liu Chuanwu not to go back on his word. Hearing the challenge, Liu Chuanwu invites the other staff to place bets. A powerful-looking gene fuser asks a senior professor, School Director Qin, if he's willing to wager 1,000 credits, and the director agrees. Watching this, Ma Zhenhe grows suspicious. He wonders how the old man can be so confident, speculating if he's trying to get Li Moyu to throw the match. He quickly dismisses the thought, remembering his own daughter is also competing. His face contorts in fury as he tries to understand Liu Chuanwu's strategy. A final, unsettling thought crosses his mind. Could Lin Zichen actually become the new king? He immediately dismisses the notion as impossible. A figure in a sleek red and black cyborg suit, the dean of the Mechanical Academy, approaches Dean Ma Zhenhe. She remarks that the provincial top scorer, Lin Zichen, was originally his student in the Evolution Academy and asks if he isn't upset that Dean Liu Chuanwu poached him. Ma Zhenhe replies dismissively, stating his academy has many students like that. The cyborg dean smiles knowingly. She points out that she heard Ma Zhenhe also poached the only 3 senior students from Tianren Gai, suggesting his claim of not caring is just a front for his planned revenge. Meanwhile, on the balcony, Liu Chuanwu thinks with glee about the bets. He calculates that with 9 people betting 100 credits and 1 betting 1,000, he is about to make a massive profit. As the faculty watches, the trial begins. A huge crowd of ordinary students rushes onto the main stage, shouting their intent to defeat the genius class. The floor erupts into a chaotic brawl. Lin Zixin stands apart, calmly observing. He internally notes many genius class students rely on their high gene fusion compatibility scores rather than actual skill. Suddenly, Lin Zixin is surprised as his danger perception attribute activates, allowing him to see the students' power levels. He assesses that the strongest 2, Li Moyu and Ma Weiwei, are both at ordinary tier 5, while the other top 10 members of the genius class are at least ordinary tier 4. After the initial clash, the ordinary students cheer, having defeated several members of the genius class, who now lie on the floor. One student shouts that the genius class wasn't so tough after all. Fueled by their success, the remaining ordinary students charge forward, shouting at the genius class members still in the stands to come down and fight. In response, a very large and muscular student with white hair leaps down. He lands powerfully on the stage, arrogantly telling the mob to come at him so he can make them understand how weak they are. The ordinary students don't hesitate and charge at him as a group, shouting that with their numbers, they can overwhelm him if they each land 1 punch. However, the muscular student meets their charge with a single, powerful, sweeping kick. The attack sends a wave of students flying backward in shock, knocking them all out as they crash onto the floor. The muscular student remarks that ants will always be ants, and no matter how many, they can't harm an elephant. The remaining ordinary students are stunned. They turn to Lin Zichen, exclaiming that their opponent is too arrogant for calling them ants, and urging Lin Zichen to defeat him. Hearing this, Lin Zichen calmly walks towards the stage, stating that since things have come to this, he will accept. He steps onto the stage with his hands in his pockets, looking unfazed. His opponent lands powerfully in front of him, cracking the ground, and expresses excitement, stating he has been waiting to fight the top physical test scorer from Nanjiang province. The student introduces himself with great enthusiasm as Lu Qiji, the top scorer from Yuntian province. He proudly lists his own impressive stats: a 5.69-second 100-meter dash, a 4.52-meter vertical jump, and a one-handed lift of 1,150 kilograms. He then smugly asks Lin Zichen to announce his own physical test data. Lin Zichen calmly tells his opponent, Lu Qiji, there's no need to report his stats, saying he will feel it himself soon enough. Before Lu Qiji can react, Lin Zichen unleashes a single, fast kick that sends the muscular student flying across the stage. Lu Qiji crashes to the ground, defeated instantly. In the background, the ordinary class students erupt in cheers for his victory. On the viewing balcony, the faculty members are stunned. They expected a strategic fight but instead witnessed a victory of sheer, overwhelming power. They wonder about Lin Zichen's true strength, noting that despite his gentle appearance, he is ruthless. Before the cheers fade, another challenger leaps onto the stage. He introduces himself as Luo Yongjian, the top scorer from Dajiang province, and lists his accomplishments. His speech is cut short when Lin Zichen meets him with a powerful knee to the face, ending the match instantly. Standing over his opponent, Lin Zichen looks at the remaining genius class students, declaring this victory shows the ordinary class has its own geniuses too. His dominance prompts a voice to shout in alarm, calling for Li Moyu and Ma Weiwei to get on stage before the new king title is taken by an ordinary student. In response, a girl with cat-like ears lands on the stage. The genius class students recognize her and cheer for Miss Weiwei to defeat him. From the crowd, He Yu and the ordinary class students shout their support for Lin Zichen, telling him not to hold back just because she's pretty. As he faces his new opponent, Lin Zichen thinks this is a good opportunity to observe a gene fuser up close. The fight begins as Ma Weiwei charges Lin Zichen with blinding speed. She follows up with a powerful high kick, but Lin Zichen effortlessly dodges by leaning back. He wonders if her agility is from her Shadow Cat gene fusion. Ma Weiwei is shocked he dodged her attack so easily. Realizing the massive gap in their abilities, she knows continuing the attack is meaningless. She gracefully leaps backward, putting distance between them. She looks at him with determination and requests half a minute, explaining she needs time to fully activate the Shadowcat genes within her before they can truly compete. Lin Zichen, unfazed, calmly agrees, telling her to take her time. He thinks this is a rare opportunity to witness gene activation firsthand. As she prepares, Ma Weiwei undergoes a dramatic transformation. Crouching on all fours, a long furry tail sprouts from her back, and her fingernails elongate into sharp claws as a powerful aura envelops her. Watching from the stands, the faculty is impressed. One comments to Ma Zhenhe on his daughter's incredible gene integration, praising her immense talent. Ma Zhenhe proudly agrees, stating her talent surpasses even the top scorers from other provinces. However, his expression shifts to concern. He worries that since her fusion was recent, pushing her body this far could cause a backlash. He sighs, noting she is just as headstrong as ever. With her transformation complete, Ma Weiwei lunges at Lin Zichen, shouting he is too arrogant for waiting. She declares he will pay the price and attacks with newfound ferocity. She throws a powerful kick, which Lin Zichen narrowly dodges. As he evades, he analyzes her new power, noting it jumped from mid-ordinary tier 5 to nearly ordinary tier 6. Ma Weiwei is shocked that even with enhanced power, she still can't land a hit. She unleashes a furious barrage of claw strikes and kicks, but Lin Zichen effortlessly dodges every attack with fluid movements. After observing her, Lin Zichen's expression turns serious. Surrounded by a blue aura, he thinks he has gathered enough data on Shadowcat gene fusers. Deciding not to waste more time, he prepares to counterattack. As she lunges again, Lin Zichen meets her with a single devastating punch to the face. The force is immense, sending Ma Weiwei flying backward. She crashes hard into the pile of defeated students, knocked out cold. The other students gather around her, remarking in disbelief how her beautiful face is now a swollen mess from his punch. Ma Weiwei sits up, crying and holding her face in pain. Her father, Dean Ma Zhenhe, rushes from the stands to console her. He turns to Lin Zichen, furiously asking if he's a man for hitting a girl so hard. Lin Zichen calmly replies that on the path of evolution, there is no distinction between men and women, only between the strong and the weak. From the crowd, Li Moyu agrees, stating strength is all that matters. Seeing his chance, he dramatically leaps from the stands onto the stage. He lands with a powerful impact, and the genius class students erupt in cheers, calling him their only hope to avenge Ma Weiwei. Li Moyu addresses Lin Zichen, acknowledging he is also skilled at hiding his power, pretending to be ordinary only to reveal himself as a provincial champion. With a sinister grin, he declares Lin Zichen isn't the only one who has been holding back. Li Moyu unleashes his power, and his body begins to transform, growing larger and more muscular as a powerful aura surrounds him. The faculty on the balcony are shocked, realizing Li Moyu is also a gene fuser. The Dean of Mechanical Engineering identifies the genes as those of a demon-eye giant ape, which require immense physical strength for fusion. His biological pressure surges to ordinary tier 6. As the transformation completes, Liu Chuanwu freezes in horror, realizing he is about to lose his bet of 1900 school credits, worth 19 million yuan. The scene shifts to a separate location, where Wang Shuojie and Lu Gang are given a mission by another student. He instructs them to retrieve a high-level demon seed from a nearby park and make Li Moyu consume it. Lu Gang is concerned about the risk of targeting someone from the powerful Kyoto Li family. However, their superior assures them their organization is far more powerful and could easily destroy the Li family. When asked if they will carry out the mission, a resigned Wang Shuojie tells Lu Gang they have no other choice. The battle between the two top freshmen begins. Li Moyu explains his transformation, boasting that the demon-eye giant ape maximizes strength and defense. Though it is usually slow, his power level is far superior, creating a massive gap between them. He taunts Lin Zichen, wondering if he can remain as relaxed now that he faces a true genius. Instead of replying, Lin Zichen immediately attacks, charging forward with a punch. As they clash, Li Moyu reacts to the attack, leading Lin Zichen to note that his opponent's reaction speed is decent enough to dodge a blow controlled at ordinary tier 6 speed. Deciding to push harder, Lin Zichen increases his output to test ordinary tier 7 speed. This increase is too much for Li Moyu, and Lin Zichen lands a heavy, direct punch to his face. Li Moyu stumbles back, angrily accusing Lin Zichen of a sneak attack. Lin Zichen calmly analyzes that the beast's defense is indeed strong, comparable to a high-level ordinary tier 6. Furious, Li Moyu regains his stance, vowing Lin Zichen's fists will not touch him again. Lin Zichen continues his offensive, However, he internally notes that although his speed is superior, he has not yet managed to inflict any significant damage. The battle intensifies as Li Moyu blocks a barrage of attacks. Lin Zichen analyzes that while Li Moyu is slower, his high defense gives him a large margin for error, whereas Lin Zichen cannot afford a single hit, making it seem the winner is already decided. Testing his limits, Lin Zichen engages in a rapid exchange, dodging Li Moyu's heavy punches. He decides the test of reaction speed is sufficient. Lin Zichen leaps backward to create distance. He prepares himself, deciding it is time to test the final attribute, strength. Li Moyu smiles menacingly, admitting he underestimated Lin Zichen's speed, but mocking his strength as too weak to cause harm, declaring that Lin Zichen is destined to lose. Li Moyu announces it is his turn and winds up a massive, energized punch. As the giant fist descends, onlookers scream for Lin Zichen to dodge, but he stands completely still, ready to receive the blow. On the viewing balcony, the deans place their hands on Liu Chuanwu's shoulders in pity. Convinced Lin Zichen is about to be crushed, the dean reminds a weeping Liu Chuanwu not to forget the 100 school credits he wagered. Back in the ring, a massive impact creates a shockwave as Li Moyu punches Lin Zichen's face directly. The result is shocking. The bones in Li Moyu's hand shatter instantly on impact. He collapses to the ground in agony, clutching his hand and screaming that it has been broken. The audience is left in absolute shock, unable to process that Lin Zichen has apparently won. They mutter in disbelief, finding the outcome too bizarre to be real. Standing over his defeated opponent, Lin Zichen analyzes the situation. He realizes that while the Demon Eye Giant Ape fusion granted Li Moyu immense strength, his body wasn't durable enough to handle the recoil. Essentially, Li Moyu hit Lin Zichen so hard that the impact shattered his own hand, because Lin Zichen's defense was superior. Lin Zichen calmly calls out to the medical team, informing them that Li Moyu has likely suffered a comminuted fracture and needs immediate attention. The stunned medics awkwardly agree and rush onto the stage. Suddenly, a figure descends from the balcony. It is Mo Dongji. She lands gracefully and orders Lin Zichen to step aside. She examines Li Moyu's arm and confirms the diagnosis. The entire right hand is shattered. She deduces with shock that this was caused by the rebound force of hitting Lin Zichen's face. She takes out a glowing golden pill and feeds it to Li Moyu. As she does, she can't help but wonder just how hard Lin Zichen's face must be to cause such damage. Suspecting there is more to him, Mo Dongji unleashes mental power to probe Lin Zichen's strength. Sensing the intrusion, Lin Zichen immediately activates his skill, Natural Camouflage, hoping to hide his true level. Mo Dongji analyzes him closely. Because of his skill, she perceives him as having a biological level of ordinary tier 6. She notes his skin, bones, and muscles possess a density far exceeding that tier, but finds nothing else unusual. She wonders if that physical toughness is his only secret. The other faculty members gather around her, eager for her assessment. Mo Dongji reports her findings. Lin Zichen is simply at ordinary tier 6 with exceptionally high physical durability, and there are no other abnormalities. Hearing this, Lin Zichen maintains a stoic expression, but internally breathes a sigh of relief, glad his camouflage successfully deceived them. Meanwhile, the pill Mo Dongji administered takes effect instantly. Li Moyu sits up, amazed. He exclaims the medicine was miraculous as he has recovered safely. He flexes his hand and smiles, confirming his injury is completely healed. With the battle concluded, Lin Zichen decides Li Moyu no longer needs to be on stage. He calmly tells him he can go down now and delivers a casual kick that sends the newly healed Li Moyu flying out of the ring. Humiliated, Li Moyu shouts from the floor below, vowing that once his gene fusion progresses, he will return to defeat Lin Zichen. In the stands, a heated argument erupts between the ordinary and genius students. The ordinary students mock the elites for having losers act so self-righteous. The genius students retort that Li Moyu lost to Lin Zichen, not them, but the ordinary students drown them out, claiming Lin Zichen's victory as a triumph for their entire class. On stage, the timer completes its countdown. A notification declares that 1 minute has passed. The announcer officially proclaims Lin Zichen of Martial Arts Class 1 as this year's new king. The ordinary students cheer wildly for Brother Chen, celebrating the glory he has brought them. However, Lin Zichen is not finished. Thinking that since he has secured the top spot, he might as well go further, he suddenly leaps from the stage into the spectator stands. To the shock of the crowd, he lands near the genius class seating and scoops Shen Qinghan up into his arms in a princess carry. The students whisper in confusion, wondering why he is grabbing Shen Qinghan. Shen Qinghan blushes intensely as Lin Zichen leaps back toward the stage with her in his arms. Her heart races, and she wonders if he intends to publicly announce their relationship. Lin Zichen lands gracefully back on the ring. With Shen Qinghan standing behind him, Lin Zichen faces the stunned audience and faculty. He boldly declares that for the remaining rankings, from 2nd to 10th place, he wants them all. The enraged genius class students refuse to accept defeat. Shouting that Lin Zichen is bullying them, they charge together to crush him and the traitor Shen Qinghan. The stage erupts into a chaotic brawl. Lin Zichen moves fluidly through the attackers, dominating the fight despite being outnumbered. He dismantles their formation with a flurry of punches and kicks, knocking students away with ease. Seeing an opening, Ma Weiwei lunges from the air, aiming her attack at a shocked Shen Qinghan and shouting at her to die for her betrayal. However, Lin Zichen reacts instantly, intercepting her midair with a heavy kick to protect Shen Qinghan. The force of the blow sends Ma Weiwei flying off the stage. From the balcony, her father, Ma Zhenhe, screams as he watches his daughter crash violently onto the floor. With the genius class wiped out, Lin Zichen stands triumphantly over the defeated students. Immediately, a notification announces that Shen Qinghan has officially secured 2nd place in the trial. She looks pleasantly surprised. Lin Zichen then turns to the ordinary students and outlines his plan. He offers them the remaining spots from 3rd to 10th place, on the condition that the school credits awarded for those spots belong to him. The students are ecstatic, cheering for Brother Chen, eager for the chance to be in the top 10. Shu Rui calculates that the top 10 spots yield a combined 550 credits. He Yu adds the participation rewards, bringing the total to 559 credits with a grin. On the balcony, Ma Zhenhe is furious. He yells at Mo Dongji, arguing that Lin Zichen's actions are improper and questioning how the new king is allowed to control the entire top 10. A voice calmly interrupts, asking how it violates the rules. Liu Chuanwu steps forward to defend his student, challenging Ma Zhenhe to point out where the regulations forbid such a strategy. Ma Zhenhe is left speechless, forced to admit there is no rule against it, though he angrily insists Lin Zichen is exploiting a loophole. Ma Zhenhe stands sweating and defeated. Meanwhile, the plans of hidden conspirators shift. Wang Shuojie urgently grabs Lu Gang, informing him the plan has changed and they should no longer target Li Moyu. As they watch the celebrating students toss Lin Zichen in the air, Wang Shuojie declares their new target is Lin Zichen. Their goal is now to make him eat the high-level demon seed, so he joins their organization. After the trial, Liu Chuanwu runs excitedly toward Lin Zichen with open arms, but is coolly dodged. Lin Zichen simply asks if the dean has forgotten his promises. Liu Chuanwu immediately produces a bottle, explaining it contains 10 qi and blood pills, along with the triple benefits for the semester. He adds that he has transferred 300 credits to Lin Zichen, happily noting the boy just helped him win 1,900 credits from other faculty members. Leaning in close, Liu Chuanwu whispers, asking Lin Zichen his true strength and level. Lin Zichen whispers back a partial truth, claiming he is at ordinary tier 6, has completed skin tempering once, tempered some facial muscles, and was born with naturally hard facial bones. Liu Chuanwu is shocked, screaming in disbelief that Lin Zichen has already learned to temper his muscles. Overcome with emotion, he grabs Lin Zichen's hands and cries, declaring that Lin Zichen will evolve into an advanced creature with a pure human body before graduating. He urges the student to persist on the pure blood path, and Lin Zichen calmly agrees. Later, in his room, Lin Zichen sits on his bed holding a small red qi and blood pill. Curious, he puts the pill in his mouth to test its effects. Steam rises from his body as he metabolizes the pill, but a system notification shows a meager increase of 108 points. Disappointed, he realizes the pill is less effective than his usual training. Realizing the pills are of little use to him, he decides it would be better to give them to Shen Qinghan. Just then, Shen Qinghan walks in wearing athletic gear, sweaty from a workout. She asks when he got back, and he replies half an hour ago. Lin Zichen calls her over and hands her one of the red pills, instructing her to eat it. Shen Qinghan curiously takes the pill and eats it. The effect on her is immediate. Steam erupts from her body as she blushes, exclaiming how hot she feels as her qi and blood surge. Seeing how effective it is, Lin Zichen hands her the bottle. He explains the pills don't do much for him, so she should take the remaining 8, advising her to take only 1 per day. Shen Qinghan happily agrees. The next morning, at the Tianrengei Research Institute, Lin Zichen greets Song Yuyan. She is in the middle of a workout and playfully calls him the new king. While stretching, Yuyan asks him to confirm what she heard from the dean. She asks if his biological level is truly ordinary tier 6 and if he has mastered muscle tempering. Lin Zichen confirms the story he fabricated for the dean is true. Hearing his confirmation, Yuyun is overcome with excitement and rushes toward him. She exclaims that he is an absolute genius and declares that with his membership, Tianrenge will shock the world. As she rushes him, Lin Zichen agrees they will work hard together. Lin Zichen is busy studying in the research institute. He realizes Liu Chuanwu and Yuyun have failed to decipher the aperture opening chapter of the blood tempering art, so he decides he must find the answers in the original text himself. Thanks to his celestial root of wisdom, he finds researching such complex matters is easy for him. His study session is interrupted by Yuyun, who informs him that people from the student council are waiting at the door. She deduces they want to recruit him after his outstanding performance. Lin Zichen immediately dismisses the idea, stating he is not interested. However, Yuyun adds that student council members receive monthly credit subsidies. Hearing about money, Lin Zichen's demeanor instantly changes, and he is suddenly very interested. Lin Zichen goes outside to meet the visitor. It is Zhou Hong, the president of the student council, who extends his hand in greeting. They shake hands, and Zhou Hong explains that he has come to invite Lin Zichen to join, offering to groom him as a candidate to become the future president. Zhou Hong elaborates on the benefits, painting a picture of wealth and luxury. He explains that besides special meals and the power to participate in school decisions, members enjoy monthly credit subsidies. Motivated by the rewards, Lin Zichen smiles and agrees immediately. However, Zhou Hong stops him, stating there is one condition. Zhou Hong demands that Lin Zichen must give up the path of the pure-blooded human and choose gene fusion instead. Lin Zichen looks confused and asks why. Zhou Hong arrogantly explains that the student council only accepts future geniuses. He declares the pure-blood path has no future, calling Dean Liu Chuanwu and Yuyun failures. He warns that without gene fusion, even Lin Zichen's talent will fade into mediocrity. Lin Zichen asks Zhou Hong, the president of the student council, if joining their organization requires gene fusion. After Zhou Hong confirms it does, Lin Zichen calmly says he will not be joining and turns his back, surprising them. Internally, he weighs the student council's benefits against what he gets from Tianrenge. Behind him, student council members mock his decision, questioning if the new king is wrong in the head for insisting on the pure blood path and predicting he will regret it. One tells Zhou Hong it was a waste of time, as Tianrenge's brainwashing is effective. Zhou Hong dismisses Lin Zichen as a genius with no future, which he considers trash, and tells his group they will recruit other talented people. Later, at the Tianrenge Research Institute, an enraged Yuyun slams her fists on a desk, complaining to Lin Zichen about the student council's hopeless mindset. Their conversation is interrupted by the arrival of Dean Liu Chuanwu, who looks utterly exhausted. Yuyun sarcastically praises him for his sacrifice for the pure-blood cause, including working day and night and selling his body for investments. Annoyed, Liu Chuanwu asks if she must always include that last part. He then warns Lin Zichen that women are a roadblock on the path of evolution and he should avoid them. Sitting in his office, Liu Chuanwu informs Lin Zichen that the university provides housing for the families of geniuses. He offers to arrange jobs for Lin Zichen's parents and asks if he wants to bring them to the city. Lin Zichen says he will discuss it with his parents over the weekend. Finally, Liu Chuanwu tells Lin Zichen he has granted him early access to school missions, explaining that with his current strength, there's no need to wait until next semester. Yuyun explains to Lin Zichen that she takes off-campus missions weekly for school credits. She suggests he could join her in the future to gain experience and offers to take him on an aberrant beast extermination mission. Lin Zichen politely thanks her. Deciding to explore his options, Lin Zichen checks the school's app for missions. He finds the school-published tasks are minor chores for only 1 or 2 credits each. He then browses student-published missions and finds a peculiar request for a female gene fuser training partner with beast ears and long legs for 5 credits a month. Amused, he checks the off-campus missions instead. He finds the off-campus missions are numerous and offer higher rewards. One is to capture robbers for 30 credits, and another is to hunt a powerful aberrant beast for 200 credits, though both are far away. As he scrolls, a particular mission catches his eye. It is to capture a Shadow Cat Girl, an out-of-control gene fuser at Ordinary Tier 6 who has been killing men in the city's red light district. The reward is 50 credits, and he promptly accepts it. Yuyun leans in close, startling Lin Zichen. She asks if he accepted the Cat Girl mission and offers to join him. Surprised, he asks how she knew. Yuyun explains the mission details page shows who has accepted the task. Checking his phone, Lin Zichen is surprised to see 28 people have already accepted it, including 26 seniors and one other freshman Ma Weiwei. He finds it odd she would take this mission at only Ordinary Tier 5 and assumes she has a helper. Telling Yuyun it's getting late, Lin Zichen announces he is heading home for lunch and waves goodbye. As Lin Zichen walks through campus, he feels he is being followed. His danger perception activates, and he senses a hostile presence at ordinary Tier 7. Suddenly, a muscular guy in a blue tracksuit emerges and calls out his name. The guy confronts Lin Zichen, angrily accusing him of targeting Ma Weiwei. He furiously lists Lin Zichen's offenses, from slapping her during the trial to now competing with her for a mission, and questions if Dean Liu Chuanwu put him up to it. The guy continues his tirade, challenging Lin Zichen to a fight and calling him a bully. Lin Zichen looks on, annoyed. He asks if Ma Weiwei or her father sent him, but the guy insists he came on his own. When the guy repeats his challenge, Lin Zichen simply asks, "So what?" Knowing he's dealing with a foolish simp, Lin Zichen turns to walk away, but the guy grabs his sleeve, yelling at him to stay put. Fed up, Lin Zichen turns and swiftly punches him in the face. The muscular guy is knocked unconscious. Standing over him, Lin Zichen thinks to himself if he is satisfied now. Lin Zichen arrives back at the apartment. From the kitchen, Shen Qinghan welcomes him home and says dinner is ready. She mentions that the 10 pounds of life and death toad meat he ordered were delivered. He takes the bag from the fridge, thinking he initially wanted to buy more to unlock the codex, but decided against it to avoid attention. He places his hands over the package, and a surge of blue energy flows from it as a system notification confirms he has devoured a large amount of the toad's life essence, bringing his codex progress to 10%. Later, a confused Shen Qinghan finds Lin Zichen putting the now spoiled-looking meat in a garbage bag. He explains it has gone bad. She finds this strange, as it looked fresh on delivery. He clarifies that he has already absorbed all its essence, which causes it to spoil rapidly. Shen Xinghan is surprised and asks if this is his superpower. He confirms it is, explaining he can absorb the essence from aberrant beasts to gain some of their abilities. She is shocked, exclaiming she finally understands why he chose the pure-blood path. With such a power, he doesn't need gene fusion. While eating dinner, Lin Zichen brings up the dean's offer of housing and jobs for their parents. Shen Qinghan is thrilled, and they agree to visit their families over the weekend. During the meal, she mentions an interesting duel between peak-ranking students at the gym that afternoon. She suggests they go watch it, and Lin Zichen agrees. At the university gym, a large crowd has gathered. Lin Zichen notes that in addition to students and faculty, representatives from the Mechanical God group are also there. Shen Qinghan excitedly points to a woman in a large white cyborg suit in the VIP section, the famous mechanical genius girl they've seen online. In the center of the arena, two fighters face each other, a muscular bull-like gene fuser and a sleek cyborg. Shen Qinghan asks Lin Zichen who he thinks is more powerful between the Kyoto genius and the mechanical genius girl. He replies they should get a good idea from this duel. He clarifies that if the 8th-ranked Evolution Academy student wins, the Kyoto genius is stronger, but if the 9th-ranked cyborg wins, the mechanical genius girl is more powerful. With an announcement, the duel begins. The cyborg immediately takes to the air with mechanical wings. From above, the cyborg unleashes a massive barrage of missiles, which rain down on the bull-like opponent below. The bull-like gene fuser is overwhelmed by the relentless missile attack, trying to shield himself from the explosions tearing up the stage. After the barrage, the cyborg lands. The bruised gene fuser sees an opportunity for close-quarters combat. Both fighters charge forward at incredible speed, meeting in the center of the arena. The cyborg easily blocks the gene fuser's punch and delivers a devastating counterpunch to his face. The blow sends the gene fuser flying, and he crashes to the ground, defeated. The cyborg raises its fist in victory as the crowd erupts. Meanwhile, in a private office, Mo Dongji receives a video report from a subordinate. She informs her that source site number 36 has been quiet for months, and they are unsure if the enemy has abandoned it or is plotting something big. Mo Dongji asks for an update on Luo Qiangshu. Her assistant reports that Qian Shui is adapting well, growing incredibly fast, and is close to evolving to advanced Tier 2. Curious, the assistant asks about Luo Qianshu's origins, noting her special constitution doesn't seem human. Mo Dongji sternly cuts her off, warning her not to ask questions that don't concern her. After the assistant apologizes, Mo Dongji dismisses her to watch a student duel. Switching her monitor feed, she watches the end of the fight. She thinks that with the cyborg's upper hand, the Mechanical God group is more powerful than she imagined. She concludes that mechanical modification has a greater advantage in adaptability, though she seems to have reservations. Mo Dongji acknowledges a major limitation. No matter how powerful, cyborgs cannot enter the source site, as all electronic and mechanical devices malfunction there. Turning off her monitor, she concludes that in such an environment, even the strongest cyborg would become useless scrap metal. Sometime later, Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan return from a weekend trip home with their parents. The two families enjoy a celebratory dinner. During their visit, they discuss the university's housing offer for their parents, and both families happily agreed. With that settled, Lin Zichen focuses on his next mission, capturing the Cat Girl in the city's neon-lit red light district. Walking disguised through the crowded streets, he reviews the mission details. The target is an ordinary Tier 6 gene fuser with incredible speed who lures and kills men. The file also notes she is a master of disguise and skilled with drugs. Lin Zichen understands why the mission remains uncompleted. The large area and her cunning make her hard to track. To begin his search, Lin Zichen uses his Eye of the Sky and Danger Perception for a wide area scan. As he activates his powers, his eyes glow with golden light behind his sunglasses. The crowd is startled by his strange appearance. Some are unsettled by his eyes, while others comment that he is handsome but has a creepy gaze. As Lin Zichen stands out, a large muscular man confronts him, demanding to know who he is staring at. Unfazed, Lin Zichen unleashes his biological pressure, telling the man to get out of his way and sending him flying as the crowd parts in shock. Standing over the unconscious man, Lin Zichen concludes his search yielded no targets and decides to move on. Just then, he spots some familiar faces. He sees Ma Weiwei with two other students, whom he identifies as ordinary Tier 7 seniors, likely there to assist her. Ma Weiwei and her female companion notice him. The companion points him out, and Ma Weiwei looks away, annoyed. The companion suggests they stay away, and Ma Weiwei agrees, leading her group away. Lin Zichen is bewildered by their sudden avoidance. Ma Weiwei states that since Lin Zichen accepted the mission, he must be there for the cat girl. She declares they must find the target first. Their male companion confidently tells them to leave it to him. He boasts he is fused with demon dog genes, giving him a keen sense of smell to find the cat girl before Lin Zichen. As he concentrates, a pink scent-like aura appears, and he triumphantly announces he has picked up the cat girl's scent. Having locked onto the scent, the demon dog gene fuser points to a bar across the street, declaring the target is inside. Determined to beat Lin Zichen, Ma Weiwei and her companions rush across the street. Her female senior vows they will capture the cat girl and flaunt their victory. The group enters the crowded bar following the scent trail. Ma Weiwei asks where she is. The demon dog guy points to a woman with glasses on a couch. Ma Weiwei expresses doubt, noting the woman looks like an ordinary college student. Her male companion is certain, explaining her scent is identical to the one on the cat girl's belongings at the public security department. Ma Weiwei concludes the target is a cunning master of disguise. Seeing no reason to hesitate, the female senior declares they should capture her now. The three charge towards the woman. As they close in, she looks up with a sinister grin. She suddenly leaps up, smashes through the glass table, and makes a break for it, with one of them shouting she's escaping. Ma Weiwei and her companions burst out of the bar, chasing the fleeing cat girl through the crowded streets. As they pursue her, Ma Weiwei worries the cat girl is too fast. The demon dog gene fuser confidently tells her not to worry, as he can track her scent and she will eventually have to rest. Following the trail, they corner the cat girl in a dead-end alley. The male companion confirms she is there and urges the others to finish the fight quickly. However, the cat girl turns around with a smug smile, taunting them and asking if they really thought they could catch her if she were trying to run. A menacing red aura surges around her as she explains that the most skilled hunters often disguise themselves as prey. She undergoes a dramatic transformation, her hands morphing into long, sharp claws, and asks if they don't understand this simple rule. She unleashes an overwhelming wave of biological pressure at the three pursuers. They are shocked to realize her true power level is not ordinary Tier 6, but an incredible ordinary Tier 9. Ma Weiwei and her companions are left in stunned disbelief, realizing the cat girl had been hiding her true strength. In the dark city alley, Ma Weiwei, the demon dog, and their female senior companion are running for their lives. Ma Weiwei yells that the mission is impossible and they have to escape. Behind them, the powerful cat girl watches with a smirk, claws ready, and mockingly asks if they think they can get away. With incredible agility, she leaps up a building, easily getting ahead of them. She lands in the alley, blocking their path and telling them they cannot escape. The cat girl then focuses on the trembling demon dog. She leans in menacingly, telling him she had her eye on him since he entered the bar. Seeing no other way out, Ma Weiwei throws a smoke grenade, which fills the alley with thick purple smoke. She tells her teammates the smoke will dull their enemies' senses, giving them a chance to run. Under the smoke's cover, the three manage to escape. Exhausted and shaken, they finally reach a crowded street. The demon dog remarks on the mission's danger, saying the information was wrong and they almost died. The female senior urges Ma Weiwei to call her father, Dean Ma Zhenhe, to report the situation so the mission details can be corrected. A terrified Ma Weiwei pulls out her phone and agrees to call him immediately. However, as she's about to call, she has a shocking realization. She remembers Lin Zichen also accepted the mission. She panics, thinking if he encounters the cat girl, he will surely die without knowing her true power. She declares they must warn him. She can't just watch him die. She checks her contacts but doesn't have his number and decides her only option is to contact Shen Qinghan instead. Back in the empty alley, as the purple smoke fades, the cat girl is annoyed that her cooked duck has flown away. Just as she laments her missed chance, she notices someone else in the alley, Lin Zichen, standing calmly at the other end. Seeing him, the cat girl is immediately captivated, thinking he's handsome and exactly her type. Believing it's his bad luck, she decides he's her new prey and charges at him, claws extended. Lin Zichen is unfazed. He notes her power level is an impressive, ordinary tier 9 as he concentrates his energy and rushes to meet her attack. The cat girl is shocked, wondering how he could be faster than her. Before she can react, Lin Zichen unleashes a powerful, glowing punch that connects with her face. The force sends her flying backward, crashing hard into a wall at the end of the alley. Kneeling injured in the rubble, she is amazed by his power. Staring at him, she is completely bewildered, wondering how a young man who isn't a gene fuser could possess such incredible strength. Realizing she is outmatched, the cat girl decides fighting is suicide, and her priority is to escape. She turns and flees, but to her shock, Lin Zichen easily keeps pace with her. Announcing she can now experience his full power, Lin Zichen leaps and delivers a devastating kick to her head, sending her flying. The blow sends her crashing into another wall, embedding her in the rock. Lin Zichen presses his attack, unleashing a furious barrage of kicks against her pinned body. He notes that despite multiple hits, she is still alive, though her biological pressure is weakening. Deciding to finish her before she recovers, he picks up a large rock. But just as he is about to strike, he looks up, surprised. A massive surge of red energy erupts from the cat girl as her body transforms, her muscles bulging grotesquely. Lin Zichen realizes with alarm that in a desperate moment, she has unlocked more power and is about to evolve into an advanced creature. The newly transformed and enraged cat girl glares down at him. She thinks how activating her shadow cat genes saved her life and made her stronger, but also increased her beastly nature and vulnerability to genetic backlash. Filled with rage, she furiously demands to know who Lin Zichen really is. Instead of fighting, Lin Zichen smiles and casually apologizes, saying he must have mistaken her for someone else. He then turns and walks away, leaving her in shock. She watches him go, her mind racing with fear. She realizes his strength is unknown, his actions are unpredictable, and she has no tricks left. She also knows she is in danger of genetic backlash from her forced transformation. Concluding another attack would kill her, she decides to escape and leaps into the air to flee. As she flies away, she hears a sharp sound and looks down in confusion. A moment later, a metal pipe pierces her forehead, spraying blood and pinning her against the wall. Lin Zichen grabs a loose pipe and charges forward, stabbing her in the chest. He pulls the bloody weapon out and stabs her repeatedly in the chest and stomach. Mortally wounded, the cat girl slumps against the wall, her biological pressure completely fading. Lin Zichen casually tosses the bloody pipe aside, thinking that this time she is definitely dead.
This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.